Welcome to the world of probiotic foods. This is Cultured Food Life with your host, Donna Schwenk.
Welcome, everybody, and we're going to be talking about Beet Kvass today. Beet Kvass, I made this so many years ago. I think it was back in 2012, that I originally started making Beet Kvass. It has a very earthy taste. So as a probiotic drink, it's a lot different than kombucha and water kefir, but it has a lot of health benefits. And when I first made this drink, like I said, 2012, it was to help my daughter, Macy. She had IBS. She had so many food allergies that had popped up out of nowhere. And one of the things that I did to help her with her food allergies was to give her a cultured food with every single meal, whether it was kefir, a spoonful of cultured vegetables, or and a probiotic drink. She had a probiotic drink with every dinner and lunch. And that was either Beet Kvass, kombucha, or coconut water kefir. It was one of those three things. But she had kefir for breakfast, usually a spoonful of cultured vegetables with her lunch and dinner, and then a probiotic drink. And I mostly did this to help her because she had pain every time she ate. And her stomach would flare up. But when she had a cultured food with everything, because cultured foods are pre-digested, they help digest the food you eat with them. It caused her pain to go away. And at that time, which was a long time ago, I didn't know that most food allergies are caused by missing bacteria in the gut. And that mostly occurs because people have had too many antibiotics they've taken, and they've had a really poor diet. So a lot of those strains of bacteria are missing, and this causes food allergies. And there's a lot of research to support this. There's been a lot of, and it's all over the world that they've been doing research on this. They have it in Canada, Australia, United States, UK. They've all done a lot of research and have found that when they add those bacteria that are missing, some of them are Bifido, Colostria, which is there's 100 species in that thing. So when in those strains, you have different strains within each of these big major groups of bacteria. And when you restore those back to the body, the food allergies go away. And I have seen this so many, many, many times that most of the food allergies, because they kind of come out of nowhere, are caused because you're missing specific gut bacteria. And I hope that we can really address this because so many people have demonized so many foods, whether it's dairy or gluten or there's just so many different allergies that people are having all the time now. Kids had peanut allergies. And one of the peanut allergies studies they did, I think that was done in Australia. And I have the research to show this. I'll link an article to show you some of the research and studies they did. But they did find that replacing the gut bacteria got rid of the peanut allergies in children. And so more and more I've seen this, for the last 10, 15 years, I've seen this happen a lot with people where once they restore those bacteria, they're fine because people are demonizing foods. And it's not the food. It's what we've done to the food. It's what we've done to our guts. And I want to get the word out because I saw a post from Joel Green, who I really like. And if you haven't checked him out, I'd advise you to. He has so much good information. And he has a lot of information about how all these different allergies are really not about the food. And I think you can find him on Instagram. He's somebody I really, really like. He's done 55,000 hours of research into, different foods, different things that help people. And he's very knowledgeable. And I've done many of the things that he's talked about, and I've had fantastic results. And so he talks a lot about it. It's a really good place. I think it's at Joel Green on Instagram is where you'll find him, and he has stories. But it's a really good place to really start to understand what's happening in the body. Because in medicine today, whenever anybody has a problem, be it high blood pressure or food allergies, they just want to mask the problem or, give it something, a drug. They don't want to address why it's happening in the first place. And you really want to do that because there's a reason that the body's flaring up like this. There's a reason that the body's giving you symptoms. It's a cry for help, and people don't realize that. And in my daughter's case, when she had all these food allergies and IBS, it was a cry for help. She had really damaged her gut, especially her gut lining, because she had gone on a really, really restrictive, low carbohydrate diet that had without a lot of vegetables. And I really damaged her gut because her microbes basically starved. And then she'd been on antibiotics because she had recurring sinus infections. And it was about that time that we found cultured foods, and that really changed everything for her. And at the time, I didn't know giving her a fermented food would help her food allergy. I didn't know anything about that. It took me 7, 8 years later to find research that addressed that, saying that they're missing gut bacteria. And I was like, oh, that's why she healed, because we gave her so many probiotic foods that it really changed everything for her. So I will link that article and some of the research that I have in the description below. But I want to talk to you about beets, because beets are very special foods. They are a very powerful root vegetable, and they have really good health benefits. They're surprisingly good. And if you ferment beets, and there are different types of beets, you'll receive even more benefits, because this allows you to get not only the benefits from the beets, but also probiotics when you have it. And it's a fun and easy probiotic drink. So beets are one of the few vegetables that contain phytonutrients known as betalains, which are specific compounds that give beets their red color. They have very strong anti-inflammatory and antioxidant qualities. And there's only I think one other vegetable that has this. It's the ones that have the reddish orange color. And it's really something that you really want in your diet, because you don't get it from other foods. And it's a very powerful phytonutrient that your body just really needs and loves. Now, beets also have the amino acid tryptophan, which along with betaline can help relax the mind, provide a sense of well-being. And tryptophan is mostly known for people who eat Thanksgiving dinner and have turkey, because turkey has a lot of tryptophan. Well, interestingly enough, kefir has quite a bit of tryptophan too, but so do beets. And you want tryptophan to give you that sense of calm. It kind of calms down your central nervous system, and it gives you a strong dose of the nutrients that your brain makes, these chemicals that your brain makes, that allows you to have a calm and relaxed state. And we really need that. You really need these certain compounds that your body can make. And your body is a virtual chemical pharmaceutical factory. It makes all kinds of compounds and chemicals that really help you, but not if you don't give it what it needs to make these chemicals. And it's not a drug, but it acts like a drug because it's actually manufactured within your own body. And it's so much better to have your body make these types of chemicals than to take these chemicals, because it knows exactly how much you need. It knows exactly how to do it. No side effects, but it makes that tryptophan, which gives you that nice, relaxed feeling. And beets are a powerful way to do that. And so is kefir. So don't forget that. Now, betaline is a nutrient made from B complex vitamin, and it's also a valuable nutrient in beets. It can stimulate the function of liver cells. It can protect the liver from disease. And the natural probiotics in beet Kvas can help support your livers and your kidneys in detoxification. So your livers and your kidneys are constantly detoxifying you all day long. They're very good at it, but they need certain B complex vitamins to do that. And the beets have that. It helps keep your liver healthy. You want your liver to be healthy, because there's a lot that your liver does. It regulates so many functions in your body, and detoxification being one of them, but it helps your eyes. It helps so many different things, because your body is just constantly bombarded with chemicals, and even in the foods that we eat and the drinks that we drink, all of the things that the body gets stressed out about. The liver and the kidneys work 24 hours a day, around the clock, trying to keep you healthy, trying to assimilate the things that you are bombarded with, be it, outside environment, chemicals, toxins, air pollution, smoke, things like that in the atmosphere. Your liver and kidneys are constantly doing that for you. And beets really support you, because they support the liver and the kidneys, and they give you those powerful B vitamins that help support your overall immune system as well. Now, beets also have a mineral called silica. And this helps the body utilize calcium. Silica helps with mineral balances in the bones. It helps to reduce the risk of osteoporosis, and it also can help boost your bone strength, which is really important as you get older. And that's an important mineral. And it works hand in hand with calcium. And beets have quite a bit of it, so it's a really good thing to help you if you're worried about your bones, what's going on as you get older. If you want to have more bone strength and not have degenerative diseases like osteoporosis, which can really be debilitating. Beets are great for helping support your bone structure. Beet Kvass is especially helpful for digestion, which is often taxed when people have food allergies, which happened with my daughter. Beet Kvass really helped her digest her foods. And it also helps to cleanse the blood, and it helps especially with chemical sensitivities, allergies, and any kind of digestive problems. A lot of people will have sensitivities to things like perfumes or smells, and that usually is a sign that your body's taxed in some way and is struggling to detoxify you. And if you have those problems, Beet Kvass is a really good solution for that, because it does help you not only with helping to repair the gut and helping you to digest your food, but also helps you with food allergies or by restoring those good probiotics that those microbes in your gut that you're probably missing. Beets are also a really interesting thing. They have a natural chemical called nitrates, which some people think, are bad, but all foods have them, okay? But what happens with nitrates with beets is through a chain reaction, your body changes those nitrates into nitric oxide, and that is a powerful compound which helps your body with blood flow and blood pressure. So it helps your heart a lot because it helps open up your arteries. It helps to decrease the risk of heart disease. It even helps, and there's been quite a bit of research how it can help prevent cancers. And it's also very, very good for the eyes and the skin because it allows that blood flow to get in there. It's a very interesting thing to research. And I actually could do a whole article on it because it's so powerful and it's so good for you. I love this. I have some beet powder in my morning smoothies. I just put a little bit in there because it helps with everything. It helps, keep your arteries clear and flowing, but it also gives you energy. And that nitric oxide that's in the beets is going to help not only as it converts to nitric oxide, it's going to help your muscles work much more efficiently. So it gives you energy, it gives you stamina, and I love it. I love beet powder in my morning smoothies. It's a really fabulous way to just give you a little boost. I like to take these red pheno powders, which is berries, and some of them have beets in them. And I stick that in my morning smoothie. And if you haven't tried red phenols, because red phenols are really important for you, I talk a lot about how they feed your microbiome in a very powerful way. And they're berries. They're all the dark colored berries. And they're also beets. And I just put a scoop in there. And I can't believe what a difference that has made in my life. It's funny. My son is a mechanic and he works. And one of the guys was having all kinds of problems with, blood pressure, and his doctors were worried because, he was having a lot of health problems, heart things, cholesterol, all these things. And my son brought some of this red pheno powder to work and gave it to him. I can't believe how much better I feel. And it's just a little scoop every morning. You can mix it in water. You can get it anywhere. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at health food stores. You can get it at Walmart. I've seen it. It is one of the life changers for me. It's something I've been doing for a while now because it's given me so much energy. It's so good for your heart, for your arteries, but it's also good for your body because it helps to create good macrophages, which help clean up the junk in your system and it kind of switches them because you've got harmful macrophages, you've got good ones, and it kind of switches them to the good team. And you'll see a difference. You'll feel a difference. And I'll put a link below. I don't sell it. I would like to sell it. We're trying to make a formula for it, but that takes a long time. And but in the meantime, there's a lot of good brands out there. And they're basically just berries in a high concentrated form with a lot of different types. And red beet powder is usually in them. And boy, what a difference it does make for energy and stamina. You'll feel it. So, and you can even just buy beet powder, and that helps too. That's a fantastic way to do it. So for years, people have been asking me for beet Kvass recipes. And so beet Kvass can have a very, very earthy flavor. So it's not my favorite taste. So I designed some that I really like that have more of a tart, tangy flavor by adding things like lemon peel and oranges to them. And I made 3 different versions. And they really have a nice combination. And you can find your favorite version. But here are the 3 I have. I have original beet Kvass, which is basically just beets put in water with some salt and a culture. And then you ferment it from anywhere about 5 to 7 days. Sometimes it's 3 if it's really warm in your house. You'll see it'll get bubbly. Not super bubbly, just a little bit. And this was the one that I made in the beginning. And this is the one that my daughter drank when she was really trying to heal. And it helped to heal her liver. It helped to heal her food allergies, cleanse the blood. And it was the very first one I ever made. Now, the next one that I love is the golden beets. Now, I love golden beets. And they're yellowish orange color. You see them in the grocery store when you buy them. I make a sauerkraut with these golden beets that is so good. I love it. Actually, I'll link that for you below too, because I make it. It tastes like sunshine. I love the flavor of golden beets. So I've made a beet Kvass with golden beets. They have so many compounds in them as well that are, the same as the red beets, but they have I love the flavor of them even more than I do the other ones. And it's basically just beets, golden beets, peeled and with lemon peel in it. And it's really good. And you ferment it the same way. And I have that recipe too. And then I made another recipe that I added oranges to. So it's oranges and beet Kvass, and it gives it a kind of a more fruity flavor. And it has very strong anti-inflammatory qualities in it, but it also has a good tangy flavor that I like much better than the original Kvass. So you can experiment with your own different flavors. But beet Kvass is really easy to make. You're just chopping up beets, submerging them in water with salt and a culture. And then I add oranges to mine or lemon peel to some. You can do whatever you like. Some people do vegetables in there. I like the fruity more flavor because it gives it more flavor because they're very, very, it's a very earthy flavor if you just do the original flavor. And one of the things I want to tell you about when you're making beet Kvass, they can get something on them that's like a white, like floaty type, like film on the top if you don't use a culture and you don't use enough salt. And sometimes it can happen even if you do. But it's a yeast and it's harmless. I want to let you know it's harmless, but you do need to take it off if you see it, scrape it off with a spoon, because it does change the flavor of your beet Kvass and it doesn't taste very good. So it's called Kalma yeast. It's not a big deal. It's harmless, but it does want to take over. Once you put it in the fridge, it usually calms down, but try to get that off, spoon it off with a spoon. I didn't get it. I just made 3 batches and I didn't get any, but I use a culture and I have that in the recipe. It helps keep that at bay. And you need to use enough salt. And you can also use kefir whey, but I have found kefir whey tends to make it more develop that white yeast than the culture because it's not as strong. And it has other bacteria in it that kind of dominate. So the culture package tends to have the one that keeps that at bay the most. But you don't have to have it. You can use kefir whey and salt, and it works really, really well. But those are my 3 beet Kvass recipes. They're fun and easy to make. They don't take very much time. And people will ask me, can you use the beets? Yes, you can use the beets after you make the drink, you strain the beets out. A lot of the nutrients will be gone because it's been fermented. So yes, you can use them, but you won't get as many benefits from the beets because the fermentation takes all those nutrients out. So, and you can either compost them or use them, cook them. You can't use cooked beets. They have to be raw beets in the drink, but you can cook them once they're fermented and done if you want, but they lose a lot of their flavor once they're fermented. So I tend to just put mine in the compost because I don't think I'm getting the benefits that I want to. So anyway, that is my suggestions and recipes for beet Kvass because people ask me a lot about it. So those are the ones that I like, the ones that I use. Check them out. I'll put all the link descriptions below. Get some beets and have fun with it. And there's, you can get golden ones or red ones. It's just your personal preference. So let me know, try it. Let me know how they turn out. And we will see you next week. Thanks, guys, for listening.